the other thing I'll hint towards, while James is out on his paternity leave, I'm trying really hard to get my dream set made. I call it Oops All Arachnes.
Oops, all Arachnes. Oops, all Arachnes.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video, and we have another fun one to talk about today. We got our latest countdown to Chaos spoiler, and we had the first of 6 Arachne agents revealed, along with the abilities and all of that. So I'm going to show it up here on the screen, and we're going to just have talk about it and have a good time. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below, the channel membership, all that good stuff. We'll get right into it. So here it is, Arachne Black Widow, Agent of Chaos. First off, just the art itself is sick. I cannot wait to get this in Marvel, but it is a Chaos Assassin demi-hero for intellect. And as we know with Arachne Marionette above me, whenever you change into this hero, your life total doesn't change. So we do know that. And it is a 1, so you're going to have to roll a 1 in order to get this hero at random. But it has the ability of once per turn attack reaction, discard an assassin card. Target assassin attack gets +3 power. If it has stealth, it gets, when this hits a hero, they banish a card from their hand. At the beginning of your end phase, return to the Brood. Revert to your base hero, which means you will revert to Arachne Marionette. But this also means that you can just revert to any base hero, depending on if they have more in the future. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Regardless, this is sick. Let's just talk about the artwork for a second. Really cool that it's a demi hero. I do love that aspect of it. You have to roll 1 to get this. The art's just sick. I'm gonna love getting these in Marvel. It might cost a pretty penny. We'll have to slowly trickle them in so we don't break the piggy bank. But this is just, for the starter, for this being the first of the 6 hero abilities, a couple things. One, we did guess correctly that you will be returning to Marionette even if you don't complete your mark. We did, like I said in my last video, it was one of 2 predictions. Either you would have to complete your mark to go back to your base, or you just go back at the end of turn. So there's that. But overall, this opens up, if we just talk about the ability itself, I do love how it's incorporating into stealth. I do think that most of these agents of Chaos will have something to do with stealth, similar to how I spoke about in my last video. I really do think all of the abilities are going to be pretty strong. I don't think they're going to have 1 or 2 abilities that are just super niche and crappy, because that would just make the hero kind of unplayable and also kind of not fun. If you keep rolling the 5 and let's say the 5 and the 6 are just really bad abilities, you keep rolling them the whole game, you would just kind of not have fun with it. So they're going to have to make everyone interesting and fun, and in my opinion, competitive. But what this does is it allows you to just have so much more of a threat with even the most basic of stealth cards, right? You have cards like Desires of Flesh, which normally says when this hits a hero, banish top card of their deck. Whenever this banishes an attack action card, gain a life. That now makes it to where, if you play Desires of Flesh on the turn that you have Black Widow up, maybe you still have 2 cards left in hand, or maybe you just have 1 card left in hand. Let's make it super face up. Your opponent knows that there's a highly likely chance that Desires of Flesh is going to come in for 6 instead of 3, and if they let it hit, then it's going to make them discard a card. And when you combine that with daggers like Spider's Bite and with Nerve Scalpel, and creating these blocks that are even worse. If you let's say you switch into this at the end of your turn with Marionette at random, so now your Widow on your defensive turn, you block with 1 card, and then you hold a blue. Any assassin card doesn't even have to be an attack reaction, and Desires of Flesh, you lead with Dagger, Spider's Bite, then you attack with Desires of Flesh, and you tell your opponent, okay, if you do not respect this, Flesh is going to come in for 6, and it's going to make you discard a card. Also, -1 to all of your attack action card blocks if you let Spider's Bite hit. So you can just have crazy value at this. This is also going to pair really well with cards like Bonds of Agony. Bonds of Agony has been a little bit harder to get off in Arachne unless you really have your flick knives and your head and your leg piece up. But with Black Widow, you already have one attack reaction on Agony just by discarding a card. So even if you don't have the reactions in hand necessary, if you have Flick Knives up and your head or your boots, then Agony's turned on a lot quicker. And it also, with Agony, if you turn Agony on, it'll go to 4, and then this gives it +3, so your Agony's coming in for 7. And if for some reason they let Agony hit and they don't disrespect it, you're going to banish 2 cards from their hand, one from Agony trigger and one from Black Widow's trigger. So insanely good synergy with that. Persuasive Prognosis gets even better. Persuasive Prognosis becomes a 4 power on hit, potentially banish 2 cards from their hand. Even cards like Double Trouble get a lot better, because if you use Black Widow as a reaction, then maybe Flick Knives or your Mask of Perdition, then all of a sudden Double Trouble's coming in for 8 minimum on hit, banish a card from their hand and the top 2 cards of their deck. It's just going to allow you to have cards that otherwise your opponent could kind of disrespect, right? Like if your opponent sees an Aura Desire Body, they're like, okay, you're going to banish top card in my deck, maybe gain a life. I don't care. I'm just going to throw a 4 or 5 card hand at you and call it a day. Now you say, no, I'm going to throw a 6 power Aura Desire Body at you, and I'm going to banish a card from your hand. And then you go back to your base hero. So super, super happy with this. We could go into a lot more synergies with this. I'm going to make these videos kind of short and sweet because I want to get your initial reactions to this. But this is sick. I really do think every single agent's going to have a pretty relevant effect like this. I think you're not going to be disappointed with any agent you get. That's just my wild tin hat prediction. I think they want all these agents to be playable in their own way. They want them to feel powerful, feel cool, feel fun. And overall, I think the chaos isn't going to be necessarily do you get a good ability or bad ability? The chaos is going to be, what good ability is my opponent going to have next turn? Also, it's going to put your opponent in a weird spot. Let's say all 6 agents have an ability like this that's very powerful. You're going to start to put your opponent in a weird spot of let's say you mark your opponent and you attack with a decently good on hit effect. Let's say leave no witnesses, or something like that, or even Command and Conquer or Eradicate or something like that, right? And your opponent says, well, I don't want this on hit to hit, but if I let them complete the mark, then maybe they can't transform into one of their Agents of Chaos. And if all 6 Agents of Chaoses are pretty decent, then your opponent says, okay, do I want to keep them in their base Marionette ability, or do I want to take the chance on them going into, let's say even 4 out of 6 of the agents are really good. Do I want to keep my mark and then they get an even better ability for their next turn, right? So you're going to potentially put your opponent in a really weird position where it's a lose-lose, right? So super excited about that. Everything about this is what Assassin speaks to me. I can't wait to get these in the deck. Obviously, you should be able to get these hopefully at a pre-release or as tokens, but getting them into Marvel is just going to be even better. I just can't wait. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. It's going to be really cool seeing other people come into the hero, because Arachne hasn't been super popular, right? It's really small. Assassins are really high following, but Arachne itself hasn't been as high. So it's going to be really cool to see other players get into this archetype and into this character and into the lore of this character and really deep dive it and see more people enjoy it. That's one of the biggest things I am super excited about. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'd love to hear it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I will be doing reveals for every single agent, so we'll be talking about them to get your thoughts. And yeah, thank you all so much. You all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time on TC Talk.